So it's going to be interesting to see where this character is going to go. Um, everyone's been talking about this whole thing with all these ridiculous name changes and everything that's been happening within the past few months. Well, actually, past few weeks to be exact. So the name changes. They go ahead and bring in the War Raiders from NXT to Raw, and then they call them the Viking Experience. And then after that, the Viking Experience would be done, and they would call them the Viking Raiders. And I'm like, okay, exactly what kind of crack were you guys smoking when you were thinking about this? Okay, let me tell you exactly what they were thinking. They were sitting back, relaxing. They were watching football. They had one side the Raiders and one side the Vikings. And then right away they said, okay, you know what? I just came up with a fucking idea. How about we call these guys the Viking Raiders? Oh, God, are you fucking kidding me? Are you insane? So they come up with these ridiculous name changes. They come up with this name. And then they go ahead and decide, okay, we're going to go ahead and change that up and we're going to make it a little interesting. We're going to make it, we're going to call them for what they are and everything else like that, blah, blah, blah. Then they do more name changes. They go ahead and decide that they're going to change the Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode to Robert Roode, which is okay. It's pretty decent. It's nothing wrong with that. It's not like he's going to change up his last name and call himself Bobby Ravishing Roode. It's not like they're going to do that. How stupid are they? So then comes the whole thing with Bray Wyatt. And I got to say this because I can. I love this character that's coming out now. And I know that there's a lot of people that are already screaming and yelling out that we don't like this character. We hate where this character is going. We wish it was back to the Eater of Worlds. To me, I think this is still the same Bray Wyatt character. I think this is still the same guy, but he's covering himself up. He's covering himself up to reveal who he really is. And we all know he's still the same person. And this is a different character than what we saw years ago. A very, very different character. But this one is sort of when you look at it closely, it's sort of like a resurgence of Bray Wyatt. It's still the same person. It's still the same guy, obviously. But they're trying to portray a new character for Bray Wyatt to show. And while everyone wants to go ahead and complain and bitch and everything else like that, you need to keep in mind of the hidden signs that are out there. There's several hidden signs that have been shown up on Monday Night Raw. For instance, the whole thing with the buzzard that showed up, we knew what that was all along. And then the next day or the next following week, it would be Sister Abigail. Then all of a sudden this week, we get the same two people that come out in this thing called Firefly Funhouse. And this is basically supposed to be like Pee Wee Herman's Funhouse in some way. But when you look at it closely, I mean, this is the character we want. We're going to love this character, we're going to have fun with this character, we're going to smile with this character, and then we're going to hate it in the end. Because the fans will be screaming for the real Bray Wyatt. And this is what I think should happen. While most people are going to complain and bitch and whine and moan that we're not getting this character, this is kind of the idea. Now, Bray Wyatt is going to remain with this new character for the next few weeks to the next few months until the time is right when the real Bray Wyatt comes out. And when that character comes out, I guarantee you fans are going to love it. I guarantee you the fans are going to be totally into the old Bray Wyatt. And I think that's what the plan is supposed to be. To get the fans to hate this new character. But yet, this is only the third promo. This is a much different character than what it was a long time ago. And you also have to realize that at the very beginning, especially on Twitter, if you've seen some of Bray Wyatt's tweets, or if at least if they're still out there, There were several tweets that were out there that Bray Wyatt is a changed man. Bray Wyatt is a different character, and Bray Wyatt is starting to change his ways. And that should show you something. That should tell you that, okay, Bray Wyatt is changing. Bray Wyatt is going to be a totally different person, and I guess this is what he's become. So, do I love how this Bray Wyatt character looks? Absolutely. Do I think it's a little bit ridiculous? Yeah, but I think at the same time, I think the fans are, the obvious word is intrigued. And that's what the word is throughout, from what I've heard from every single fan. It's intriguing. The new Bray Wyatt's character is intriguing. The storyline is intriguing. We're seeing how intriguing this is becoming. So, we're going to see how far this character goes. We're really going to see how far the Bray Wyatt character is going to go. Because to me personally, I think this is going to be the most brilliant thing that Bray Wyatt has ever done. Because at the end of the day, no matter how big of a change Bray Wyatt has become, he is still the same character. He's still the same guy. And you have to also keep in mind, there are hidden tracks, there are hidden things that are out there that nobody's looking at. If you notice, Bray Wyatt took his hands and covered his face. And when he covered his face, you notice one side said heal and the other said hurt. Right? And that should be a sign. That should be some sort of a cryptic sign that should tell you that this new Bray Wyatt is still the Eater of Worlds. He's still that same character. We're just going to see where this character, this new Bray Wyatt character, goes. We're going to see how far this goes. And I and everyone else is going to be very, very intrigued by where this character is going to go. And it hasn't been explained yet if he's a face or if he's a heel. But I think he's a face. I think he is. Because I think the idea right now is to get the Bray Wyatt character that they have right now, the new Bray Wyatt character, get them to like it, get them to be interested in it, and then get them to hate it at the end. To a point where they're going to want the real Bray Wyatt. They're going to want the real character. They're going to want the Eater of Worlds. They're going to want the guy that told us to follow the buzzards. They're going to, basically do that. It's going to be a matter of time. I mean, you just wait and see. In the next few months, next few weeks and next few months, Bray Wyatt is going to be a totally different man in the next few weeks and next few months. And it'll only be a matter of time before we start following the buzzards once again, and we are going to be intrigued by the magic that is Bray Wyatt.